Well, a very good morning to all of you. Before I come to the topic of the day, that is the BIRAC initiatives on maternal and child health, I would like to give you a brief overview about the BIRAC itself. BIRAC is basically a not-for-profit public sector enterprise which was set up in 2012 by Department of Biotechnology as an interface agency to strengthen and empower the emerging biotech enterprises to undertake research and innovation addressing the nationally relevant product development. Now, although BIRAC is involved in a variety of activities, these could broadly be classified under three main heads. The first being supporting innovative research through various funding schemes. Now, what is it that we offer and to whom we provide these services? Now, funding support is provided to entrepreneurs, startups, small and medium enterprises, and biotech companies for all stages of product development. This includes right from idea to pre-commercialization stage. So we have schemes to address discovery to proof of concept stage, early stage and late stage development, validation, scale up. To provide this, we have got 5 major schemes, but that's not the only schemes that we are into. There are several other schemes, but I have just picked up few to give you an idea about our funding pattern. The first scheme being the big scheme where the ideas are supported. This is followed by the next scheme, that is the SIBRI scheme, where we support the early stage research to the proof of concept stage, followed by BIPP and the contract research scheme. Now, the contract research scheme is very interesting in the sense that it facilitates technology development by the industry and by the academia and its validation by the industry. And the last and not the least is the SPERSH schemes primarily aimed towards social innovation. Besides providing funding support, we also work towards product innovation and commercialization through partnerships. So far as the partnerships are concerned, we have these with national and international organizations, including government departments, industry, bilateral agencies, philanthropic organizations, and corporate sector. And this is primarily aimed towards leveraging strength and expertise and mobilizing resources. I have listed out some of the partnerships on the right-hand side, but these are not the only ones. There are several others, and I'm not going to get into the details of each of these, but these are some of the partnerships that we are into, mainly the one with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundations, Wellcome Trust, FIPRA, USAID, so on and so forth. And the third major activity where BIRAC is involved in is promoting entrepreneurship development. And here we focus on providing infrastructure support, mentoring, and networking, primarily for technology transfer, IP management, business mentoring, and regulatory guidance. This is done through a variety of efforts by creating bio-incubator space, university innovation clusters, and a series of workshops, including those on information, grant writing, and IP sensitization. So as you would see, BIRAC is just not providing financial support. It is into a series of activities, and our major strength is in mentoring, networking. I'll come down to the social innovation scheme, which is known as SPERSH, and that's where I'm going to focus on because it is the first 2 calls of SPERSH scheme where our focus was on maternal child health. Now, this particular scheme was launched in 2013 with the aim of promoting the development of innovative solutions to society's most pressing social problems. It provides support to cutting-edge innovations towards affordable product development and also for impact funding. There are 2 major components. One is affordable product development, and second is the immersion program. Initially, I'm going to talk about the affordable product development, and then subsequently I'll come down to the immersion program. Here we have got three categories: idea to proof of concept, category B, proof of concept to validation, and finally, innovative pilot scale delivery. Not getting into the details of it, I'll just tell you that most of the projects that have been supported under this fall under the category A, although some of the projects have also been in category B. This slide tells you about the focus areas of the first call that we had in SPERSH on maternal and child health. And as it goes, prognosis and treatment of postpartum hemorrhage, neonatal and maternal screening, monitoring of physiological parameters, food and nutrition and delivery models. Under this call, we had a large number of proposals, but eventually 10 of them were supported, and these details would be presented to you in my subsequent slide. Now, the second call, which relates to healthy mother and healthy child, here the proposals were invited for development of technologies, products and processes, services, low gestation period and scalable potential. And some of the focus areas being innovative immunization technologies or products for mother and the newborn, revisiting the neonatal intensive care methods, ideas and solutions to make diagnostic tests during pregnancy affordable and accessible, scalable solutions to prevent transmission of HIV, which is one of the serious problems, and then technologies and products for combating maternal and neonatal sepsis. Now, in all, 16 proposals were finally supported under these two. What has been the outcome of these projects? I am going to just give you a brief details of some of the technologies or the products that have come up through this financial support. The first being the electricity-free baby incubator. This is a technology developed by Science for Society and Techno Services Private Limited, where a prototype has been developed for electricity-free baby incubator that creates an ideal artificial atmosphere for neonatal baby to save it from hypothermia. Now, one thing I would like to mention here, that it's not that the baby incubators are not available in the market. The important part here is that these products have been developed primarily to address the Indian needs. And here, as you would see, this particular unit works well on fixed batteries for 18 hours without any electricity, because in several rural areas of the country, electricity is not available for long hours. And that's the significance of this prototype. And the charging is primarily done through circulating hot water by hot exchange. Coming down to the second technology, that is Right Biotech. It has been developed by Excellence in Biological Innovations and Technologies. It's basically a point-of-care device for detection of antibiotic sensitivity of uropathogens in human urine. Now, it works on a very simple principle. There's a conventional one that you grow the bacteria in a medium and thereafter measure the growth of inhibition. The interesting part here is that the results are available in just 3 hours. And the results that you get are in the form of sensitive, moderately sensitive, or resistant ones, and on a panel of 14 antibiotics. SARS is an interesting device. It's basically a low-cost, easy-to-use, a CPAP device, which is primarily used to maintain a constant air pressure to keep lungs of newborns and infants open during trouble breathing. Now, again, there are several options available. The rationale and the target here is the low-cost, easy-to-use technology with minimal inputs. Now, this unit again operates without any power and could be used by untrained persons. Now, this is again a significant part because you do not get trained manpower in several rural areas without any external supervision from a trained medical professional. This technology, which has been developed by Neurosynaptic Communications Private Limited, it basically focuses on development of rapid prototype and an Android application and functional verification of a variety of devices which are basically based on wireless technology. This, again, I'd like to mention here that several prototypes have been developed and they are now being tested and validated. This particular project, which is being implemented by Periwinkle Technologies, pertains to registry and community system for hemophilic children. As you're aware that hemophilia is a serious problem, and under this project, a hemophilia registry is being developed for better tracking and planning of treatment. It also enables data capture for improvement, for better planning and improvement in ecosystem. The registry forms and database has already been created, the apps have been published, and onboarding has started. In all the projects that I have mentioned, these projects most of them are 18 to 24 months. Some of them are still in progress, they are not yet complete. So we do not have the final product as yet, but yes, the prototypes have been developed and they are at different stages of validation. This particular project, which is being implemented by an individual at KIIT Bhubaneswar, is a low-cost technology for probiotic products for the women and children, primarily for the area of Lahul and Spiti Valley in Himachal Pradesh. Now, a variety of probiotics have been developed using apple and sea buckthorn. So far as the toxicity studies are concerned, since the individual doesn't have the capacity to undertake all of them, they have been outsourced to a company. Now, Embryo Technologies Private Limited is working on a project which is basically a sensitive, easy-to-use, low-cost tool for monitoring physical fetal growth to screen for IUGR and prospective low birth weight. Not alone, but in conjunction with other methods like ultrasound, it is expected that this would increase the reliability of the test based on estimated fetal weight calculation. This is another project pertaining to use of microfluidic-based on-chip PCR device for neonatal and maternal screening. The project focuses on development of a handheld, again, important part, a handheld simple device which is able to perform on-chip sorting from the whole blood, isolate DNA, amplify the gene with specified primers, and quantify the amplified DNA. So this is basically all the functions of a PCR machine for neonatal and maternal screening. Finally, we have this project on development of iron-rich ice-brine protein hydrolysate, which is being executed by Celzyme Biotech, and it is hoped that the outcome of this will help to address the problem of children malnutrition by fortifying the food which is offered by the government as a midday meal. So out of 16, here I have given you the details of some of the major ones, but there are other projects too which are being executed, which includes development of implantable scaffolds for obstetric rectovaginal fistula caused by unrelieved obstructed labor. And then there is a project on where a proof of concept is being developed for recombinant senapaltide, or peptide for treatment of respiratory disease syndrome. Few other projects include development of a point-of-care diagnostic tool for pre-eclampsia screening, and Belubon, which is basically a blanket aimed at treating neonatal jaundice in infants with light therapy. It's a very, very simple device, which is affordable and can be used anywhere in the rural areas. Here are a few other examples. And finally, I come down to the SPERSH scheme that I was referring to, the second component of the SPERSH scheme, which is the Social Innovation Immersion Program, what we call it as SIP. It is primarily directed towards developing a pool of social innovators. So here, it's a fellowship program where the fellows, they go to the rural areas, look for a problem, which has a societal relevance. Here it was it was directed towards healthcare. Once they have identified, firstly they look around, go for the immersion process, shortlist the ideas, and then work towards developing a prototype or coming up with a solution to a problem through a process development. Now, this particular program is managed through our incubator partners, Venture Center, TISTI, KIT, and Wilgrow. Here are some of the research ideas related to maternal and child care, which have been identified by the SIP fellows. Now, again, I would like to emphasize, these are only the research ideas. No concrete work in terms of a prototype has happened so far. They have been working on this for about 12, 14 months. They have undergone the process of immersion. They have shortlisted the ideas. And now they are in the process of implementing these ideas. It's barely 3 to 4 months because some of the projects are still ongoing, so it's premature to say. But yes, these are some of the research problems or the research ideas which have been identified by these SIP fellows, and we expect that over a period of time, many of them will get translated into full-fledged. So with this, I conclude my talk. If there are any questions, most welcome.